Time brought resignation, and a melancholy sweeter than common joy. Emily Bronté. There are times in this life when it is impossible for one to live slowly. I mean, we can't move at slothesc speed all the time. There are situations where it is imperative to move quickly and get specific activities done. However, I have found living slower helps with a stress-free life. Here are 5 tips to living a slower lifestyle. Tip number 1, wake up earlier. This is harder said than done when you're not a morning person, but I have found when I wake up 2 hours earlier before I have to go out and do something like go to work or go to the store or have to do something prioritized in my life, I can get a lot more done and I don't feel as rushed. I actually have time to enjoy reading my Bible, eating breakfast, and a cup of hot cider or cocoa. I wake up slower and feel less stressed. I want to take a moment and introduce you to a very good friend of mine. This video is in collaboration with Kelly Tilley. Kelly is a military housewife with 2 little girls named Hazel and Adeline. On her channel, you will find lifestyle content. Click down below to see her tips for living slower. Tip number 2, go to bed at a decent hour. It is very hard to complete the first tip without doing the second tip. If you go to bed and get more sleep, it is easy to wake up earlier in the mornings. I'm going to leave this one up to your discretion. You know how much your body needs in sleep, so go to bed early before doing tip number 1. Tip number 3, don't be scared to say no to people or activities. I'm not going to lie, I have a really hard time with this one. I'm a big people pleaser and I like to say yes. And if you don't want to say no, just reschedule. There's nothing wrong with prioritizing your time. Your time is so precious, you won't get it back. And people pay people for their time. So be careful how you spend it. And if you need to reschedule. I used to cram a whole bunch of activities all in one day. I would wake up in the morning, I would go to work, then I would come back, I would go to town, I would go shopping, and then I would go back and come back and go with my friends and have movie night. And by the end of the day, I had no rest between activities. I was so exhausted mentally and physically. I had to prioritize it down to doing one fun thing per day. This allows me to de-stress, go have fun, but also just not rush and do things just to be doing things. Tip number 4, be in the moment. This tip takes a lot of self-discipline. What being in the moment means for me is I'm working on that one activity, like doing the dishes, sweeping the floor, not even chores, just walking my dog or bathing my dog or spending time with my family. Being in the moment is when I can do these things without thinking of other things while I'm doing this one specific activity. I'm not thinking of a whole bunch of things in my head while I'm doing this one thing. And it slows time down so much, and you focus on that one single task. You can laugh, you can have fun, you can enjoy it, and not clutter your mind with all this other stuff going on in this world. Tip number 5, prioritize. And I feel like I've been saying prioritize throughout this whole video, but I want to reiterate what I'm going to say. You can prioritize very structurally. This is where calendars and planners come in handy. When I was in college, I used to plan week by week. So I would prioritize what was due in a certain week. So I'd write everything that was due down that week in blocks that said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes even Saturday and Sunday stuff was due. So I kind of do that now too. I will write down what I need to get done in the week, just 1 week at a time. This helps me to break it down and be less stressed out. By prioritizing what needs to be done that week helps out so incredibly much. I hope you enjoyed my 5 tips to living a slower lifestyle. If you also have a tip for me, comment it down below. I want to hear from you. If you are new here and have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and liking it down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and show Kelly some love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.